I'm back at it with another tier ranking video. Last time I did the expansion packs. This time around I'm gonna do the stuff packs. And you might be thinking, why are you doing the stuff packs before the game packs? Since usually that's like the hierarchy: expansion packs, game packs, stuff packs, and then kits. Well, the reason for that is that I don't feel like I've really fully explored all of the game packs, so I feel like I need to give myself a little bit more time with them before I can give them an accurate review. But stuff packs, it's just, you know, stuff in a pack. So I think it's pretty easy to judge whether something is good or not just based on the list of items included in each stuff pack. Of course, there are also gameplay items in the stuff packs, which we will touch on, but for the most part, it is just a bunch of 3D models that you can add to your game. Whereas game packs and expansion packs are a little bit more involved. We have all the same tiers as last time. The top one is my faves, which are obviously my faves. Then right below that, we have the solid tier, which will include packs that are good, maybe not my favorites, but I think they are solid. Then we have the okay tier. This tier is gonna include packs that are just okay, they're fine, serviceable, maybe not the best in the world. Below that, we have can't recommended. Those are packs that I don't necessarily have too much fault with, but I don't recommend anyone will like purchase it. For one reason or another, there are like problems with the pack, or I just personally don't particularly care for it. And then finally, we have the bad tier, which is gonna include all of the worst packs. These are the ones that I don't think you should waste your time with. Don't spend money on these, they suck. Also, by the way, big caveat with the stuff packs is that some of the stuff packs have been free in the past, so that means I'm gonna be a little bit harsher on these packs because, I mean, they have already basically said that these are not worth your money. So I'm gonna be judging them based on the fact whether they are actually worth your money, because most of them honestly are kind of not. But without further ado, let's just get into it, starting with the first stuff pack of The Sims 4, which is a luxury party. And a full disclosure, I do not own this stuff pack. I haven't bought it because like I said, they have been putting some packs for free, like some of the earlier packs specifically. So I'm kind of just waiting on this one to be for free at some sale, because this pack is hot garbage. I'm sorry, it's so ugly. All of the items are trash. Do not spend any money on this pack. It's going in the bad category easily. Of course, because it's the first stuff pack in The Sims 4, it's not a surprise that it's become a little bit dated. The textures are kind of ugly. The clothes, they look like shit. There are some makeup items that also don't look that good. The build items, they are also pretty shit, and there's only 12 of them. And the gameplay item is pretty much just the chocolate fountain and the buffet, which, who cares, honestly? Like, don't waste your money on this. This is trash. They should not be charging money for this anymore. Don't buy it. All right, next up we have a perfect patio, which is a little bit of a controversial pack because this pack released before hot tubs were a thing. So this one included hot tubs, but then later they added a hot tub to the base game. So people felt like a little bit cheated by the fact that they purchased a pack to have hot tubs and then they just added hot tubs. But honestly, like, the hot tub that is in the base game is ugly as shit. So I don't really care. Honestly, for me, perfect patio, I'm gonna put that in okay. Why am I still highlighting here? Whoops, sorry about that. But I'm gonna put it in okay. I actually quite enjoy most of these items, most of the build items. I really like the outdoor furniture. I feel like there's a huge lack of outdoor furniture in The Sims 4. So this pack, it includes a lot of great outdoor furniture options for you. We have a new fence, we have a new gate, we have new sofas, new chairs, new tables. I think this is a fine pack. The creator sim items, they're not especially interesting. Honestly, most of them are kind of bad. I think the hairs are okay, but the actual clothing items, they're not that particularly exciting. But it does include 2 new swimsuits, so that's something. Since the gameplay is no longer exclusive to this pack, I'm also gonna have to rate it a little bit lower because of that, since, you know, you don't actually get any new gameplay in Perfect Patio anymore because of the hot tub that is in the base game now. But still, I like these items. I use them quite a bit. So for me, it goes in the okay category, straight in the middle. Next, we have a Cool Kitchen. This is the pack that included new counters, new kitchen equipment, And of course, the gameplay feature was the ice cream maker. And honestly, I'm gonna put this in can't recommend it. I feel like at the time it was a good inclusion to The Sims 4 because there weren't that many kitchen items in the game. But now we have so many other options and so many other better options that I don't think you really need this pack. If you can get it for free, like why not? But ultimately there is another kitchen pack that has come out since, and that one is significantly better. The ice cream maker is not that useful, to be honest. I never used it personally. I don't think it really adds too much new exciting gameplay. So I think you can just skip this one. The Creator Sim items, they're also not that exciting. I think there are some good hairs in it, but the clothes, they are kind of outdated. The textures are kind of iffy. Not the worst, but definitely not the best either. I will say, however, the fridge, the stove, and the sink that come with this pack, I actually quite enjoy those items and I use them quite a bit. But this damn poster here, it looks so weird. I don't know, there's something wrong with the texture on it. It just looks so flat on the wall. I think they need to update like this specific item so it can be used in game. I don't think they're gonna do that, but one can dream. Anyway, we'll move on to the Spooky Stuff pack, and this one I'm gonna put also in can't recommend it. This one includes a bunch of Halloween costumes. It has these more campy, spooky items that you can use to decorate for specifically Halloween if you want to add that into your game. So it kind of pairs well with seasons, but I don't find most of these items to be useful in game. I think they're so situational, and I find that these like themed party packs, I don't really get much use out of them because I'm like, how often am I throwing a Halloween party in game? Not very often. I can tell you that much. I do kind of enjoy this flooring and this wallpaper, but that's pretty much the only thing that I can find consistent use out of. Otherwise, this pack is just kind of gimmicky. The Creative Sim items are pretty much only costumes, so you don't really get much use out of them either, unless you're playing a sim that is like a cosplayer or something. I don't know. Maybe you can find some use out of it. I personally couldn't really find any use for it. So honestly, I think you should just skip this one. Also, what is the gameplay feature? Is it the Trick or Treat Bowl? I don't really know what the gameplay feature is, and that should tell you enough. Alright, we'll move on to Movie Hangout. This is the pack that introduced the movie feature, so you can watch movies in-game, which are these cute little machinimas made in The Sims 3. I'm gonna put this one in okay as well. I think it's fine. I don't think the movies really add much to your experience, but they can be kind of fun to watch every now and then if you feel like it. We also have the popcorn machine, which I guess that's something. I don't really use that one personally. But the actual items in this pack, I actually don't mind them that much. I think they're kind of fun. They have a lot of fun swatches. There's a lot of like colorful items. I love this specific plant. I think it's great. I use this a lot. One thing I'm not like the biggest fan of, however, are the doors that they added to this game, because it's kind of hard to match doors if you don't have windows that are designed specifically to match them. So these two items are kind of completely useless. But otherwise, the items, they're fun. I like them. The Creative Sim items, not like the best ever, but they're serviceable. They work. I enjoy the new hairs included in the pack. I enjoy these specific pants. I think they're kind of fun. But as with all of the like older stuff packs and some of the older packs in general, the items, they're just, the textures on them are a little bit iffy. They don't look that good compared to the newer items that we have in the game. So for this one, I think it's like, well, if you can get it at like a significant discount, I would be like, yeah, sure, go for it. But full price, no, don't get it. I think it would be a waste of your money. Next up, we have Romantic Garden. And this one, I'm gonna put also in okay. I promise there are some good ones coming up. These early ones, they're just kind of shit. But let's talk about Romantic Garden. This pack included a whole bunch of outdoor plants that you can add to your house. It has some outdoor furniture. Of course, the name Romantic Garden. It has garden items. Not super surprising here. But these plants that they added, I think they are like the main feature. And of course, the wishing well. I haven't really used it too much, but I do think it's a fun addition to The Sims 4. It offers a lot of fun, like spontaneous gameplay. But the build mode items, they're not like super useful. They're fine. I do find specific use cases for them, but it's kind of like the spooky stuff pack where it's just so niche and so specific that there is not that much use to them. I do find them to be a lot more useful than the spooky stuff pack, however, since, you know, you can use plants wherever in any garden. You're not really gonna throw a Halloween party every single day, but you're always gonna have a garden on your lot. And these can also be very useful for community lots like parks and stuff. So I do think there are use cases for these items. The Create a Sim items, however, this might be one of the worst showings of the stuff packs. I don't think any of the items are like actively bad, but they're just not memorable. I don't think anyone needs any of these items in their game, but I guess they're there. They're fine. Next up, we have the Kids Room Stuff pack, and this is going to be the first one that I'm going to put in solid. I do like quite a bit of the items in this pack. Of course, it is a pack that is all about kid items or like kid furniture, things for kids' rooms, hence the name. But yeah, we have some Create a Sim items for our kids. We have some build items for kids' rooms. And like I said in my last tier list video, there aren't that many packs that focus on generational gameplay or like the younger generations of Sims. So it's kind of nice to have one that is all about the kids. One thing I wish they had done, though, is that the hairs in this pack could have been transferred onto adult Sims. I don't see really a reason why it's not an option for older Sims, because you could just like reuse the 3D model. It would probably work fine. But I guess it's not like a huge deal. The gameplay items is the Void Critter game, which personally I don't really use that one too much. So in that sense, I don't think it's like all that great, but I don't really have anything against it. It's just like not something I particularly engage with. To me, the main draw of the pack is the build items. There are so many fun items in this pack that I find myself using quite a bit in a bunch of different builds. I find it to be universally useful for most houses, since unless of course you don't have kids in your household, then you know I don't know what to tell you. Don't get this pack. But I enjoy it. I'm a fan of it. Like I said, solid. We'll move on to the Backyard Stuff pack, which I think I'm gonna put it in can't recommend it. I'm sorry. There are some garden items, outdoor furniture in this pack that I think are actually quite nice. Like the table, the chairs, the couch here, or bench, I guess. But the gameplay items is the slip and slide, which anyone that has put a slip and slide in their house knows that it is the most annoying thing, because Sims will non-stop go on the slip and slide. The other gameplay item is the like cocktail tray or whatever, mimosa tray. I don't even know. But this item I just feel is not like too big of a sell, because we already have bars in most packs, so I don't think you really need this item. But I guess it's nice to have. It's not like a huge deal breaker. The Create a Sim items, not that interesting. Build items, not that interesting. I think this is a skip pack. I don't really find myself using most of these items outside of the furniture, but I could do without them, to be honest. Next up, we have Vintage Glamour, which I think is an improved version on Luxury Party. So I'm gonna put it in okay. In fact, I think this pack makes a Luxury Party like obsolete, to be honest, because everything Luxury Party has, you can get in this pack, and you can get it better in this pack. I think the build items, they're pretty good. I do find a lot of use out of a lot of these items. They're pretty universally useful. Of course, they're a little bit more like rich leaning. So if you're not building rich looking houses and like modern looking houses, maybe this is not the pack for you. But I find them personally useful. The Create a Sim items, they're nothing to write home about, but they're okay. I like some of the accessories in this pack, but the clothing items, there's not that many. The shoes are actually pretty nice. And of course, the hairs, they're perfectly solid. The gameplay feature in this pack is the butler, being able to call in a butler, which I've always loved a butler in the Sims franchise, so I quite enjoy that. I actually don't really call a butler too often in my game, but I do like to have the ability to if I wish to. So yeah, okay pack. Not really good enough to go into solid, but you know, perfectly serviceable. Then we have the Bowling Night pack, and I'm gonna put that one in can't recommend it. I think some of the build items are pretty good. The cast items, not that interesting, to be honest. but in my opinion, the main like gameplay feature of it being bowling, it just is not a big enough draw for me. I don't really see much reason to make bowling alleys or whatever. I never use the bowling lane. I never really want to have a sim that is like a bowler. That's not really something that I think is necessary in The Sims 4, or like at least not necessary for its own pack. I feel like if this was included in a different pack, it would have been great. But as a standalone pack, I don't think there is much use case for this pack. But like I said, the furniture, it's not like terrible. I actually find them to look pretty good. I find a lot of use out of them. Since most of them are pretty minimal, they can pair with a whole bunch of different items. But yeah, I don't think I'd recommend anyone buy this. Maybe if it's free, then it's probably a fine addition to your game. Then we have the fitness stuff pack, which I'm also gonna put in cat recommended. Honestly, the gameplay feature in this is just not enticing enough because it's all workout equipment that we already have in the game, with the exception of the climbing wall. And actually, I do find the climbing wall to be pretty useful because of Snowy Escape, since they retroactively changed it so you can get climbing skill from the climbing wall. So for that specific use case, I actually quite enjoy this pack. But otherwise, the items are not that exciting. I mean, they are better looking items than the base game ones. So if you're tired of the base game workout equipment, I guess you could get this one to sort of get a little bit of a aesthetic boost to your game, to your home gyms. But the Creator Sim items, I find most of them to be kind of ugly. The build items, I don't find most of them to be all that useful. It's just not a pack that I don't think anyone really needs. It's just fine. Next up, we have the Toddler Stuff pack, which I'm also gonna put in can't recommend it. I don't know, this stuff pack, if you are purchasing this stuff pack, it is going to be for the Creator Sim items because you want to spruce up your toddlers. Personally, toddlers for me are a life stage that I don't really care that much about. Like, I don't care to boost their appearance because they're only toddlers for like 2 seconds, basically. So if I ever change their outfits, I just kind of slap something together. I don't really care too much about it. But the build items, however, they're not like bad. They're just kind of not especially useful. Most of them are made for like picnics and stuff, so it's like outdoor activities. And then we have these like outdoor toddler items, which are just so massive. I don't really see that many use cases for them unless you are adding them to parks or something, like community lots. But personally, I don't know. I don't really ever use these items. I actually do kind of use the grill every now and then. Do enjoy this grill. I also think the toy box is pretty nice. This little like toddler fence is kind of cute, but for the most part, I don't know. This pack just doesn't have that many useful items for me personally, so I don't think I can recommend it. But we will move on to Laundry Day, which I'm gonna put in my faves. The first one going in my faves. I love Laundry Day. I mean, it is a little bit buggy, admittedly, but I don't care because, I don't know, I love laundry. It is, in my opinion, one of the best like gameplay feature added into The Sims 4 from the stuff packs introduced into the game. There are a few that I think are a little bit better, which we'll get to later. But I don't know, just the ability to do laundry is pretty good. I like that. I think it adds a little bit of a challenge to regular gameplay. I think you can apply it to every single household you're in. It's also just like a thing that people do in their everyday life. Like, everybody does laundry. Everybody has to do laundry. So for that reason, I enjoy it. I also think the build items, they're really good. I use a lot of them. I've had a lot of use out of a lot of them. I think this window here is kind of wonky. Like, why are we getting a window? Just like one window. You can't pair this with anything. Can The Sims stop doing this? Like, come on. But these furniture, they're great. We even got these like wicker furniture, which can both be used outside and inside. So that makes them just like that much versatile. The Creator Sim items, they're also all pretty solid, or most of them. I can find uses for all of these items. So this is a great pack. I think they did a really good job with this pack, aside from the bugs, which I do hope they fix. I want them to fix this pack. I mean, honestly, it's not like that bad, but still, it's just kind of annoying. And then we have the infamous My First Pet Stuff. This one is going in bad. I don't even have to tell you why. We all know this pack is hot garbage. It's terrible. It should never have been made. Honestly, it should be in its own tier. You know what? I will. I will add another tier. Here we go. Garbage. All right. Yeah, this pack should never have been made. It was so clearly just a massive cash grab. The only reason that I have this pack is because they made it free once, and honestly, personally, I think they should just make it free for everyone always. It should always be free, because you can't even use most of the items in this pack unless you have cats and dogs. So why not? It could like incentivize newer players to actually purchase cats and dogs if they have this free pack alongside it. And it's the only way to salvage the bad PR that they have gotten from this pack. But okay, outside of all of that controversy and stuff, is there anything actually good about this pack? I'm here to tell you, no. I don't think the items are good. They actually look kind of terrible. There's this one couch in the game, this corner couch that looks really bad. And then another one that is like can only be used up against the wall and in specific directions. I don't know. They made such weird decisions with this pack. Even like the outfits that they added for the pets, they are kind of ugly. The outfits that they added for the Sims, they're also kind of ugly. This pack was a flop. This might be just the worst pack in the entire Sims franchise. And I don't think that's a controversial statement. Okay, from one flop to another, we're gonna go to Moschino. Okay, I don't think Moschino is actually that bad. I'm gonna put it in can't recommend it, because I think the items in the pack are just a little bit ugly. I think most of them are pretty ugly. I think some of the windows are actually pretty nice, but aside from that, like for a designer collab, this is the best you could do. And it's a collab with Moschino. Moschino is known for being like really camp and really over the top. And this is what they did? Like, really? Really? The only reason it's not going in bad is because of the camera feature, because I do quite enjoy the camera feature. I like that we got new poses. I do like the new career that comes with the pack. But again, that whole aspect of the pack is also just so buggy. Like, it's so hard to take photos of Sims. They will never stand still. They will never actually start the interaction. You have to do it like 50 times. The hairs in this pack though, do enjoy those. I love this bob. I love a bob. I love a bitch with a bob. You know this about me. But yeah, I don't know. For like a luxury brand collaboration, this was such a flop. Why is this the pack we got? Like, I just don't understand how this pack came together. How we ended with this. Alright, let's actually talk about some good packs, because we've got Tiny Living immediately going in my faves. I love this pack. This is my favorite stuff pack in The Sims 4. Like, hands down, easily. Love it. It's great. The items in the pack, they're fantastic. I find them to be useful in every single build. We have the Murphy bat, which is fun. Comes with a new death, comes with a new animation. Love it. We have all these furniture items that are not like massive, like so many of the Sims 4 items. So they're really useful for a lot of things. The Create a Sim items, they're all pretty solid. We actually have hairs for toddlers and children. Like, how many stuff packs do that? I can tell you how many. None. Like, none of them. Up until this point, at least, we have had not a single one that has had hair for all life stages. They did something so good with this pack, and even though I have been gushing about this pack all this time, I haven't even mentioned the best part, the tiny houses. Honestly, in my opinion, this might be up there as one of the best additions that The Sims 4 has made for the Sims franchise. Like, it's actually a new feature introduced into the Sims franchise from The Sims 4, which is not common. Most of these packs in The Sims 4 are just carbon copies of packs from the previous entries. So I really appreciate that they did something new here with this pack. Gave us a new way to play The Sims. I love it. It's my favorite. I think it might be up there of like all packs in The Sims 4. Definitely a standout. But we have another favorite pack coming up next. We have Nifty Knitting, the pack that introduced knitting into The Sims 4. This one easy going in my faves as well. I love having Sims that knit. I use it very often, especially for like elder Sims or like adult to elder Sims. I think the knitting feature is so fun to play with. The build items, they're all pretty solid. There's not a whole lot of them, but because they're all so good, I don't really mind. Like, I find use for pretty much all of them, except for like this door. Like, why is there always this one door or like one window? Like, what are you doing? Sims team, what are you doing? I wouldn't really mind it if they would match like the door and windows to the base game, but on its own, like, why are we doing this? Why are we here? But the real standout of the pack is, of course, the Create a Sim items. Not only the items that are included straight from the game, but also every single knittable that is available in the game, which is not just Create a Sim items actually. There are also build items that are knittable. I also love like these collectible type of gameplay, this like a completionist type of gameplay where you can like tick off a list. So this pack adheres to the way I like to play The Sims, or I like to play games in general, I guess. So it's not a huge surprise that this is gonna end up in my favorites. The next pack we have is the Paranormal Stuff pack, and this one is also gonna go in my faves. I love this stuff pack. These like later ones, they are just so much better than the earlier ones because they actually include very intensive gameplay. It's more than just like clicking an item and your sim does like one animation. It's actually like actual addition to the gameplay experience of The Sims 4. And Paranormal is no exception to that. The addition to Haunted Residentials is so fun. Love playing with this. It just makes the gameplay experience so much more exciting if you are like into more like paranormal or occult gameplay, which I am. I do quite enjoy it. I know not every simmer is like that, but for me, I enjoy it. The Create a Sim items, they're so good. I really like that they did this, like, really try to, like, hone into an aesthetic instead of just, like, slapping a bunch of random items together. And the build items, also fantastic. Love all of these items as well. These also tie into the same aesthetic, which I just really appreciate the level of detail in this pack. They went hard on this pack, and they deserve all the praise for it. Also, once again, hair for all life stages. We love to see it. Alright, we're reaching the end of this list. We have the last two packs here, the newest packs. And next up is the Home Chef Hustle Stuff pack. This one is gonna go in solid, in my opinion. I do like it. I think it is like a vast improvement upon Cool Kitchen in many, many ways. There's so many exciting gameplay features in this pack. Like you have all these different equipments that allow you to make all these different types of foods. And then, of course, the main feature, the sales table. We've had this in the game before, of course. The yard sale is not a new addition to The Sims 4 in this stuff pack, but they added this like twist onto it by basically just being like a food stand. I think it's so fun. Also, the kitchen appliances in this pack, they're great. The cabinets, they're great. The flooring and the wallpaper, so good. Every single one of the build items in this pack are so good. The Create a Sim items, I'm not like the biggest fan of them. They're alright, I guess. I think some of the hairs are pretty good, but the clothing, I don't know, they're just so situational, and you know how I feel about those things. I also don't really love like the textures on all of them. I think some of them look a little wonky. And this one could have easily gone up to the my faves tier, but I do find the food sales to be very laggy and very buggy when I use them. So they do still work, but there's just something about the food sales that makes them lag out my game like nobody's business. I don't know if it's just a me problem. I feel like I've seen other people experience this as well. And I don't even have that bad of a computer. Like I don't have the best computer in the world, but it should not be lagging this much. At other points in the game, it does not lag this much. It does every now and then because, of course, you know, Sims 4, it has a lag issue in general, but it like consistently lags whenever I do a food sale. So I don't know. I think they need to fix that somehow before I can even put it higher, but it could easily go in my faves if they are able to fix those issues with the pack, because I do think they did a really good job with it. And then finally, we have the newest stuff pack to The Sims 4, Crystal Creations. And I'm putting that also in solid. A bit of a controversial pack since it was kind of buggy at launch, but I haven't experienced any issues with it since they had that quick fix. I don't know if people still are experiencing issues with it. I haven't really heard anything about it. If it is still kind of busted, then, you know, it's gonna go down, all the way down to can't recommend it. But I do think this is a very good addition to The Sims 4. It enhances a gameplay feature that was already present in the base game, that being the collectible gems that you can harvest throughout all of the worlds. And I just think it's a very clever addition to like improve upon something that is already there. It feels like an actual addition to the game instead of just like crap. I like the creative sim items that were included in the pack. Again, we have a very specific aesthetic that they are going for. And the same with the build items, it's that same aesthetic. And overall, I just think this is a very solid addition to The Sims 4. I hope this becomes the design philosophy for future packs as well, that they try to like enhance a part of The Sims 4 that is already in The Sims 4 instead of trying to just add new things over and over that is half-baked and not well fleshed out. And yeah, that's gonna be the tier list today. I'll probably get to game packs eventually, I don't know. I mean, the last video that I did, it was like months ago, and that video, it's easily my most popular video, but I kind of hate that video. I think, I don't know. I guess that's hopefully a sign that I am improving as a creative, improving as a content creator, I don't know. Anyway, I'll see you when I see you in the next video. Goodbye.